So, found footage horror, news on found footage horror is a little dry right now. So I wanted to take a few minutes to show you something else I collect. And first things first, you're going to notice that my DVD shelving unit is missing some DVDs. And in place of that, I've got Sega Saturn games. And that's actually what this video is about. I collect Sega Saturn games. And right now I'm just organizing them and cleaning some of them up. So I moved my DVDs. My DVDs are actually in this drawer currently. My main ones. I also have my found footage ones are still down here. I put them on the bottom shelf for now. But sometime in the next week or so I want to get like a DVD unit, shelving unit, just for my Sega Saturn games. Maybe put it in my basement and put the DVDs back in the shelf. But right now they fit in that drawer fine, so while I'm doing this process of cleaning them up and organizing them, this is their home for now. And I want to show you a few things. First, here's the cat in the window. He's going to watch out and make sure nobody steals my games. But I have a system for this drawer is extra manuals. And the reason I have extra manuals and extra games and extra back inserts is because sometimes at like flea markets or stores that are selling these games dirt cheap, even if I have the game already, if it's like $1 or $2 for the game, I'll buy it again simply for the case. Because I want the spare parts for the case. Because a lot of these games I buy are busted or cracked or missing the front hinge. So this comes in handy. And as you see, I also have some Sega CD stuff, because those ones came in the same kind of case. So I buy those dirt cheap too for the case. But yeah, this is my spare parts drawer for the Sega Saturn project. And take stuff out when I need it, put new pieces in when I get them. They'll all get used eventually, and maybe eventually I'll just sell these loose manuals or games on eBay or something, because these are all duplicates. But anyway, that is the junk spare drawer. And here's Liam again. Is there anybody out there, buddy? Okay, now next up, what I want to show you is Sega Saturn Checklist, a book that I made. It's in a pretty good like plastic sleeve, like something you would turn like a report or something like that. And what it is there's about, for North America, Sega Saturn has about 250 games, give or take. There's a couple titles more, I think, but I've been unable to find a complete list that has every game, every version of every game. So there's about 250 games. And this book, in alphabetical order, has every single game spread out over 5 pages. And as you can see, I cross them out as I get them. It's just a pretty cool system for me to keep track of what I have and what I still need. And yeah, it works pretty well. And it's in a nice case because I'm prepared for this to take me years to do. It's kind of hard to come by Sega Saturn games. Me and my friend have been hitting up a lot of flea markets and thrift stores, trade centers, places where old secondhand used games get traded and bought and sold a lot. So that's really my best bet for these types of games besides eBay. I look for really cheap ones on eBay. But anyway, I'm going to go through these real quick. And what this is the second shelf is games that are waiting to get cleaned up. They're dirty, their cases are busted, they've got stickers on them from the places I bought them from. And as you can see, I think I need a new copy of Myst. I don't know why Myst is so dirty. It's so faded compared to the other ones. I don't know why. But Yeah, this row is games that are waiting to be cleaned up. And, you know, I needed like a space to put them like this, organized, so I had to move all my DVDs for the time being until I get a new shelving unit. But the prizes, these movies, the found footage movies, these movies are my babies, so they're still in here nice and safe. Anyway, up here, these are the ones that are actually cleaned. These ones I've cleaned, I've gotten the stickers off, or these are ones that I managed to find factory sealed and they don't require me to clean them. And why am I collecting Sega Saturn games? I guess I don't really have a good answer. The system's always really interested me. I never had one as a kid, but I did play it a lot over a friend's house, and I always liked it better than PlayStation, even though it was nowhere near as popular. The Sega Saturn actually had some better tech under the hood than the PlayStation. I don't know the specifics. I'm not good at the trivia and stuff, but that's just a lot of what I've heard. It just was never fully realized because the advertising wasn't as good. It didn't have as many game developers or exclusive titles. It just never caught on like the PlayStation. But Sega is one of my favorite game companies, and this system just really interests me. And someday, if I ever collect all of these Sega Saturn games, then someday I might move on to the Sega CD, because they got the same kind of cases, and those ones really interest me too. But anyway, these are the clean ones. Nothing too special up here. I got All-Star Baseball. Here's a pretty good one. Area 51. People who are fans of like 90s arcade, like rail shooters, that's an awesome game. Battle Arena Toshinden Remix. Some sports games. Congo. This is a pretty cool game. First-person shooter. I like first-person shooters. Daytona USA. Hexen. Hexen is one of my... I'm going to take a second to talk about Hexen here. Yes, this is Hexen for the Sega Saturn. It's probably not the best port. There was a port for PlayStation. There was a port for N64. The N64 one was fucking sweet. That one you could have 4 controllers. I did have that one. I played that one to death. Me and my friends would play the 4-player deathmatch all day long. And that was like the only system that could do that. I believe the PlayStation could have 2 players, but this one, the Sega Saturn, can only have 1 player, so you can only play the campaign. But Hexen is a really great series, and if you're a fan of like those 90s first-person shooters, like Doom or Quake, you really should check out Hexen, because it's a first-person shooter, but it's like medieval fantasy. Hexen is the most well-known game in the series, but it started off as a game called Heretic. Then Hexen was kind of like the non-direct sequel. It was a sequel, but it had a new name and kind of followed up on the same story. And then Hexen had a sequel called Hexen 2, and Heretic had its own sequel called Heretic 2, but that kind of branched off and didn't have anything to do with the same story for Hexen and Hexen 2. It's kind of confusing unless you're a fan of the series. You probably don't get what I'm saying, but really sweet. If you're a fan of 90s shooters, definitely check this one out. On any system. It originated on the PC actually, but it got ported to Saturn and PlayStation and stuff. Racing game, Mannix TT, Quarterback Attack. Down here, mostly sports games, because the sports games are the easiest to find for dirt cheap at these flea markets. But I got a couple cool ones. Fighting Vipers, Independence Day, Myst. I mean, look at this copy of Myst. I don't know why it is so faded. Let me compare it to another one. Okay, Myst right next to NASCAR. And it's hard to tell. It doesn't really show up on video that well. But Myst is considerably more faded. It doesn't have the bright white like a normal Sega Saturn. And I don't think that's on purpose, but I haven't come across another Myst at a store yet for me to compare. But it's definitely more faded. I think I just got a really crappy copy. Like maybe it was just sitting out in the sun at some outdoor flea market for like a year. I don't know. You can tell here really well that it's different. I don't think it's supposed to be that way. But anyway, if I ever find a cheap one again somewhere, I'll get it and then I'll just gut this one and use it for spare parts for the cases. But yeah, some racing games, lots of baseball, hockey, football. They're so easy to come across. And I am going to be playing these. I don't think I'm going to do reviews or anything, but as soon as I hunt down, I don't even have a Sega Saturn right now. I'm collecting these games just to do it as a hobby. But once I find like a system in good shape, for cheap, I am going to buy it and play some of these. But I don't know, it's just a hobby. I like collecting them. I mean, do what you like. That's what I'm doing. So we got Sega Rally. And here's another thing. If you know any trivia on the Saturn, please inform me why some of the games came silver. There's several games that kind of have like a silver, shiny, glossy look, and the rest are all white. I don't know why. I've got two, but I think there's another game or two that are like that. I'm not sure if that was an original version or a variant, or I don't know. Yeah, so lots of baseball games, soccer. I've actually got some coming in the mail. I've got a big box of like 30 games that I won on eBay for 180 bucks. And that's a lot of money, but there's a lot of rare games in this set that are worth a lot. And that's going to be my next video when I make a Sega Saturn one. I'm going to find a price guide online, and one by one I'm going to go through the prices and show you guys how much of a profit I made. Even though 180 is expensive, I really got a good deal. But I'm still going to do found footage horror stuff. When I get new trailers of movies, I'm going to upload those. I'm going to keep doing reviews. Hopefully I'm going to get one this week. I don't know what. Let's see, this is Tuesday when you're going to be watching this. So I'm hoping to have one up by the end of this week. I'm going to talk about another movie. But I'm just kind of expanding my channel. I don't want to make a brand new channel and start from scratch. You know, I've got almost 200 subscribers. Usually people who are into movies are usually into games too. So I don't think anybody's going to have any objections. And if you don't like the Sega Saturn stuff I'm doing, then, you know, I guess just don't watch it. Just check in when I've got found footage stuff up. But that's it for now. And here's my cat one more time. He will not look at the camera. He must see a bird. But that's it. And thank you for watching. And if you're selling Sega Saturn games, you know, hit me up if you've got some for cheap. Because, you know, right now I'm just looking for ones that are 10 bucks or less. Because there's a lot of games. There's 250 games. I'm not ready to hunt down those rare expensive ones yet. I'm just trying to get all the cheapies right now. But yeah, if you want to talk about video games or you know stuff about this this decade of games, the 90s, then feel free to message me. But that's it for now. Later, guys.